The question, are people who play guitar by ear better than those who play by notes? Not an easy question to answer as these terms are not very precise. Let's talk about playing by ear. This simply refers to the ability to listen to a particular song or piece of music and to figure it out. To duplicate the chords and such simply by listening. Some people are better at this than others. At the far end of the spectrum we have various folks in the autism spectrum who can hear a complex piece of music and duplicate it flawlessly. Of course, they can't do much else in most cases. Most folks who play by ear have a good working knowledge of chords, chord progressions, and can figure out a melody line simply by listening and finding the appropriate notes on the instrument. Often, it's easy enough to find transcriptions of the basic chord progression online, and that's all you need to play a tune in a simple manner. Playing by notes normally refers to being able to read sheet music. To sight read is to be able to read the sheet music and play fluently at the same time. This takes specific training, often from childhood. Just like learning to read. Constant repetition. The problem arises in that most commercial sheet music is not written for the guitar. It's written for keyboard players, which requires some rearranging to be sensible for the guitar. Jazz transcriptions are often just lead sheets with the lyrics, the chord symbols, and the time marks. The player is expected to provide his own improvisations and such. Is one better than the other? The vast majority of pop, rock, and blues tunes you have ever heard were written by musicians who did not read music fluently, had only a fair grasp of theory, and just figured out what they wanted the tune to sound like. When the tune is published, the publisher hires a professional transcriber to put the music on paper for sale, either as sheet music or perhaps a songbook. Often this bears little resemblance to the original songs. A well-trained and fluent sight reader can sit down with a good transcription and play the thing first time through. Someone not so well-trained might have to work through the piece a few times to get it down. Depends what you want to do. If you're a rock or pop composer, and you want to write catchy pop tunes, you can get by pretty well with a very limited knowledge of theory and no sight reading ability at all. Thousands have. If you want to work in a studio, or with a big band, or on Broadway, or in a jazz combo, then you'd better have some theory chops and some reading ability.